It's Weekend at Effy's, and we're here with surprise. I forgot. It's our 200th episode. We're going to have some beautiful words from people who have subscribed to our Patreon at weekendateffys.com. We are going to talk about the last and final frontier, Alaska, and where I'm allowed to go and where I'm not allowed to go. We're going to talk about hyping up LGBTQ talent, and we're going to talk about being a part of the Patreon, because if you're not, you're missing out. Weekendateffys.com. Check out the Substack for dates, for movie recommendations, for fun. Weekendateffys.substack.com. Please share the podcast with your friends. Let somebody know. We're going to talk about grassroots activism and how it helps when you have a good product to have grassroots people behind you. Thank you to everybody who listens. Thank you to everybody who tunes in. It's Weekend at Effy's. Petár is actually the queen here. I'm going to be honest. That's the truth of the matter. Effy's just a figurehead. I'm trying to figure out what this button does when you order something on my web store. And I go to the tracking to see like, oh, where's their item, which should be delivered like today or tomorrow. And then you go to the bottom and it just says make it gayer, and there's a button and I don't know where it goes. It may go nowhere. I may need to go back in and fix the button that says make it gayer and then doesn't do anything. I think it should make it gayer.
Yeah.
I clearly did this at a time where it went somewhere, but I don't know where it went. That's crazy. That's wild. Hi, Petár.
Hello.
We're here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually from Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I'm from Kenya.
My Kenyan friend. We're going to talk about the final frontier today.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about pain and stuff. But first, let's talk about Bebop for a second.
Okay.
Do you think he's aware? I mean, I had a theory he was aware. But you've been with him a little in the yard.
This fucking bitch.
You've been with him in the yard.
What is she doing?
I don't...
She's just picking the ball up and dropping it right by the camera.
Yeah. She knows how to get attention. So, and she knows we're talking about Bebop. So she's over here. If you're watching on the YouTube, right behind you, there's a wild Dalmatian girl just going ham on a ball, destroying it. So my theory was, okay, now is that duck still in the tree?
I haven't seen the duck.
Where did the duck go?
I don't know. I never saw the duck in the tree to begin with.
The duck was in the tree. There are spider webs out there now too. I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
I feel like a bird comes down, it's gonna get spider webs all over it and be like, I gotta get out of here.
Right.
If I'm a hawk. So Bobby, we think is aware. I think is aware that he has to protect the chickens now.
I think so too.
Do you think you're seeing?
Yeah. His
So,
behavior has changed.
His behavior has changed. He's very serious about it. It's not that he's not leaving the yard because he wants to play. He like I let him out the other morning and he was just sitting in the sun. I actually tweeted this video. He was laying in the sun and I was like, yo, come in. And he was like, no, dude, I have to like maintain the area.
Yeah.
Now I'm not letting him stay out there with the chickens fully out yet because I just don't know. And Laura's being weird because she's molting. But he was just laying in the sun, sort of like letting it be known that like he's out there. He's in charge.
Yeah, he
And
is in charge. We've known this.
I talked to more people about it and they said basically like the longer they're with you, the more you're kind of like, even though you're feeding them and taking them out and stuff, you're just sort of something that needs to be protected. And he will become more like on the job even more as time goes on.
Yeah, I love that.
Like he wants to come be a cuddly boy, but like if
he is a cuddly boy.
He is a cuddly boy, but if anything's going on, now I bring this up to say, I've been trying the Hassan Piker method of electrocuting. No, I'm just kidding. He showed that he was not using an electrocution collar. It was a vibrate
Y'all
collar.
are fucking dumb if you fell for that shit.
Yeah. Bebop had a vibrate collar at one point. It didn't do anything for him. He didn't care that when he barked, it vibrated. Because we were living in a very small apartment at that time. And now I have the AirTag on him. I just put a new battery in, which the AirTags come in handy and probably will again in finding this boy. But I can now connect and play the sound from the AirTag. And I've been trying to Pavlov this boy into when he hears the sound, he stops. And it's been very effective so far in my experiments. we have hit a snag. The French bulldog effect is what I'm calling it, which is when he sees a French bulldog, like one of those little bug-eyed, like completely over. What they don't call it eugenics with dogs. What do they call it? Breeding?
Yeah.
Like
selective breeding.
Selective breeding. Oh my God. Dog eugenics are being used to create dogs like this, not for them to be a healthier part of the species, but because they're crazy looking. And I think with 3 mutts, we have 3 mutts.
Mm-hmm.
And we use that
Isn't
term
Cranberry like purebred pit though?
We've had
according to 23 and
we've had 2 different 23 and dogs done on her.
Uh-huh.
One of them was pure form pit.
Okay.
That was the second one we did.
Okay.
The other one was not.
Okay.
And had like a lot of weird shit in there.
Huh.
So I don't know. But the other one it was literally, we got Bobby's back and it was like 50% healer, 50% rat terrier. And someone online was telling me he's going to get a perma belly. Like at about 5, they get a perma belly. So like we might be coming up on it soon where like they can get skinnier, but they just have a gut.
Okay.
What?
Well, that just means that Bobby needs to get in shape sooner than later and maintain that. So when the belly
he gets
comes,
the perma
it's
gut,
not.
Yeah.
We just need to have a conversation with the other one.
With the other one.
Yeah.
The other one said he wasn't feeding him much, but I said it's only half a coffee
Is he taking
cup.
him on walks?
I'm assuming not in that neighborhood. Right. We got to take him out. We got to let him see the world. That's why I was using that duck toy.
He has so many more activities. I'm not going to harp on this, but he's got the backyard and the chickens and so many sensory things here.
He has to stay busy.
Yeah.
And also when he leans down to pee, because he'll pee 2 ways. He'll pee with the leg out, the typical male pee.
And he'll just have that dump that he does.
Yeah,
he just leans all the way in and just pisses.
Yeah.
It's when he's not holding it to do his little bip on the trees.
Right. When he's not like leaving a little mark everywhere.
Because he holds his shits and he holds his pees so we can space them out.
But he does that full squat down and he gets his belly all wet.
Oh.
Not from the pee.
Yeah.
Just from like if there's dew in the yard early in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just running through his own pee. But I'm saying like if there's going to be more belly, we don't know. He could piss on his own belly.
Okay.
Donald Trump does that. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
This is a parody podcast. Peter, question. You're doing a lot of stuff on the Patreon this week. Are the people going to get their money's worth?
Oh, yeah, they're going to get their money's worth.
That's what's crazy.
Why did you know about the surprise?
No.
Okay. This girl is distracting me. I need to move her.
Yeah, she's chewing on stuff.
Yeah.
There's a surprise?
Yeah. What do you want to get into?
What do you mean, what do I want to get into?
You want to get into the surprise now?
Yeah.
You want to do questions?
Yeah, let's do questions.
You know what this is, right?
No.
This is episode 200.
Oh, good for us.
This is 4 years.
4 years.
Do you want to know when the podcast started?
Yeah.
August 26th, 2021 at 8:04 p.m. was when the first episode was recorded.
Wow. 2021? Mm-hmm. We had no clue what was going to be going on in the world. And now we bring you here today because we are raising up an army. Is this that Aries thing again?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
Okay. Well, congrats to us. That's a long time.
Yeah. Do you want to know how many episodes, including Patreon?
Yeah, including Patreon.
Including these 2 episodes, it will be 384 episodes.
Okay, so you're saying basically if you're on the Patreon, it not only are the episodes all early, put into your, what do they call it? The RS feed?
Mm-hmm.
RPO? RRS feed?
No, RSS.
RSS feed for you in your podcast of choice. Also, you get double the content.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this, we're a little bit cheeky on the minisodes. You think we're cheeky here? We're cheeky on the minisodes. We were talking about Rudy Giuliani. We were talking about Rudy Giuliani. I was trying to make it sound like it was like we were going through controversies. I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying right now, Peter.
No,
Congrats
you don't have to
to
say
us.
anything because I had the Patreon folks call in. so we have some voice messages to listen to.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Surprise.
That's what I've been up to this week.
Oh, see, this is interesting.
Okay, so before we get into those, I'm going to read 2 questions that we have on the weekly Patreon questions. This first one's from Julie. Meant to call, but been traveling for work this week. Congrats on 200 episodes. Thank you for being a delightful part of my week and keeping me company through many a work-from-home day and introducing me to so many movies I might never have watched. Keep up the great work.
Wow. Thank you, Julie.
Okay, this next one is from Heather. 200 awesome episodes. Here's to many more. Thank you for being here for us and bringing joy. I just have one question for you.
Please.
What did the cannibal have for dinner?
I don't know.
Five Guys.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for always making me giggle on this dad pun motion. I'll be back in Florida soon.
We love you, the fur and feather kids too.
Aww.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Feather babies.
Okay, I'm going to drop these in the actual episode.
Okay.
But I will just play
You're
them
taking
here for
on so
us.
much editing, Peter, for the people.
No, this is important. This is for this. We've been doing this shit for 4 fucking years.
Should we keep doing it?
We should keep doing
Today
it.
is the no.
Can you just think about how and of course, we've had our misses here and there.
Yeah.
But consistently putting out 1 to 2 episodes of anything for 4 years.
I know. But that's good for me too. Here's what I have to confess to the people. It's good for me to keep some sort of scheduling in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's very easy for me to get home after just literally I flew 15 hours both ways. There's 30 hours of flights. And then we had to drive around freaking Alaska. And then I get home and I kind of crash. And if I don't have structure, I actually would be more tired because I need the structure and I also need to process out the information I've seen. I mean, that's how this podcast started, Peter, which me going, hey, this happened. This is weird, right? And you were like, yeah, we should talk about this. And then finding ourselves in this corner. And I'm trying to increase my participation in a lot of things. I've been on the astrological updates recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be back to doing vlogs very soon. I needed some time to just take everything in. But I'm trying to bring a new component in that I've failed at thus far it's a surprise if it works. And maybe this weekend is the chance we have to get it going at Fight Club at GCW in Atlantic City. But thank you to everybody. We're going to listen to these voice messages.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Effy. It's Ashley. I just wanted to tell you guys how proud I am of you. 200 episodes. That's so amazing, especially with Effy's crazy schedule. It's magical that you guys have made 200 episodes. I'm absolutely so proud of you guys. I love you both so much. You guys keep me company every time I drive to work or anytime I go on these long road trips to see Effy. That's what I listen to on these crazy-ass drives. Yeah, that's it. I don't have any questions or anything. I want to tell you guys how proud I am of you. Here's 200 more. Love you.
Ashley, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for my shrimp tempura. We talked about it on the mini-sode. It broke, so I have to fix it. I have to fix the shrimp tempura. It was pulled from my bag.
Oh, God.
200 episodes. Ashley, thank you for being here for the ride. Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon, too. Magic.
It's so funny to think about just all the things that we inadvertently end up accompanying people for, because we can't control how folks listen to this, and I'm sure it's drives and other things, but someone has just had those headphones in,
like Leo DiCaprio, hitting it from the back with Weekend at Effy's on the ears.
Is that what he's listening to?
We don't know
Leo,
whether or
reach out,
not
reach out.
Leo is listening to Weekend at Effy's, but I do know. I just want to say this, Peter. If you watch the video episodes on YouTube, and you watch one battle after another, there's a lot of similarities between me hitting the vape and Leo hitting the vape. If I was going to tape study, I'd want to do it somewhere, from a true artist. So, there's the one where he hits it, and he does the head down. He's like,
it's so good. It's so
one battle
good.
after another.
He somehow made vaping cool in movies. I don't even know.
Yeah, because he's
Crazy.
cool. in his little bathrobe. Thank you, Ashley.
Hey guys, it's Danny, aka Today of the Witch. You guys are awesome. Happy 200 episode weekend at Effy's, and personally, for me, it's a 5-year anniversary on the Twitch. Y'all great people. From Effy, your brunches, from going from brunches to Maniac site, and for you being a fucking example to be a fucking leader in the LGBTQ community. You help inspire my own little revolution I'm doing here locally. Shout out to you, Effy. Shout out to you, Peter. Keep on rocking. Keep on rolling. Y'all great people. Thank you.
I love that. Shout out Danny. Today of the Witch. I want to say this. It is very, very cool. And it's like, I'm getting credit right here, but I'm sure there's many factors. But to see me just being kind of a loud thorn in the side of things as the way they are, giving other people sort of the prowess to jump in and be like, yo, like Danny's helped get a lot of things going with the queer scene there in Western New York, I believe. Most of the time, I think that's where we met. So I don't know the exact city and states. I probably should. But there's been a lot more like group efforts and parades and pride events and cool stuff. So yeah, we should be loud about it. Also, we have an update this week. You have to put a pin in it. We have an update on the Tampa Pride Parade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this because you messy ass girls better not be doing what I think, or I will be in your town very soon. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do also want to say, side note, while we're in the middle of this, the one thing that is being a person who has possibly experienced CTE before and who is working through that through the aid of therapeutic measures, grown on this great earth, lion's mane being a type of them, having people not tell me up front they listen to the podcast, like within the industry, and me going to like tell them something or bring something up and they're like, oh, I already heard it. I'm so glad that you and Drew have made right. Drew Parker and Petár feud over. No more feud. This came up to me in England. We brought it up on the show. There's been now a truce, a ceasefire.
We don't have to fight each other now.
We don't. I don't need cool, hot friends fighting. Okay? That's not what I want in my life. I want happiness and joy. So I'm so honored that y'all have made up. But it is hilarious when I will be talking to people within the world of wrestling on this very wrestling podcast. And they kind of already know everything going on because they listen to the podcast. So that's magic. Must be pretty good if they're listening to it too.
100%. I mean, I think we've had our fair share of secret listeners over the years.
Yeah, lots of secret listeners.
Hello, Effy and Petár. This is Machete Von Kill. First and foremost, congratulations on your 200th episode. Thank you for always giving me something fun, sometimes silly, and forever interesting to listen to at work. 8 hours in a chair in the trim room can be rough, but the podcast keeps me sane. I would also like to thank you for the lovely online community that you've created. So many wonderful humans. My question for you both is, where would you like to see the podcast go from here? Also, would you ever consider taking Weekend at Effy's on the road? Much love to you both and to the fur and feather babies. Bye, bye, bye.
Wonderful. Thank you, Machete Von Kill. I got to see Machete Von Kill in Detroit. They hooked me up with some magical...
Wait, did I hear trim room correctly?
Trim room?
Yeah, as in clip, 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 clip.
We may have to work out a deal. We may have to work out a deal to get some
No.
clips.
I love that. I do love that. One of my favorite things on the planet is involved, that this podcast is involved in the cultivation of such.
Yeah?
That's yeah.
Clip them.
I love it. That's great.
Clip them all.
Clip them all.
Got me some elk jerky that I ate in the emergency room the next day, which was fantastic. While my knee's a football, I'm in there and I'm just like, they won't give me pain meds. And I'm like, you know what? I still have that delicious jerky left. And I ate 2 bags of jerky in the ER. Shout out. I do like the idea of the online community because I think of it like in wrestling, I meet so many different people, right? There's so many And when I say diverse, I mean like of every type of person you can imagine, from every background you can imagine. And the only thing they have in common is wrestling, right? That's the only thing we have in common. And so when people are like, oh, I'm kind of into Effy, and they find that in common, and then they can find friendship through that, being a conduit for friendship. Are you kidding me? This is like, I got real mad one day, and I probably brought this up on the show, and I was yelling at someone about, someone was saying like, I was, changed their life, which is like beautiful. But I was like, at what point is that the job? Like, the job isn't wrestling. The job isn't doing a podcast. The job isn't doing a vlog or having video. The job is just like, hey, if you spend 6 months with me over a reasonable period, there's proof that you'll enjoy it so much your life is better. Isn't that crazy? Like that's the job. The job is people going like, my life was better because I participated in what you were doing. And that's awesome. That's like insane. I can't believe they haven't, if the Democrat Party hasn't backed up to the door with a freaking Brinks truck by now, because they aren't interesting and I'm not helping them. We're going to run under socialism. Yeah, it's back. Rock and roll's back. Socialism's back. Effy's back. And if you think you can beat me in a cage match, run against me. All right? But we don't need weak babies in suits running this country anymore. We need buff guys in crop tops with so many animals. You know, imagine Cranberry in the White House. You know what we do? We paint that sumbitch rainbow.
We put in so many ramps.
We put in so many ramps. We put in so many real artist pictures of Donald Trump in a diaper. We would never use AI. We would never do that. We would commission artists, not out of the taxpayer fund, out of my own pocket. And we'd have a diaper gallery, the Donald F. Trump diaper gallery. I know it's J. Trump, but the F stands for what he really is, a fool. How about that? Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for everybody supporting the Patreon. 200 episodes, pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. So where do you think we're going with this thing?
We're going in a direction that does include, I hope, live shows. This has been kind of on me to get worked out, and I haven't done it. I don't think Atlanta's the best place to do it. I have people with venues that want me to run in Atlanta, but like the insecurity of me says, well, I would need to have a no ring match and a live musical act to make it like worth people showing up for, because they could just listen to it on the podcast.
But I also don't think that that's a bad idea. I think you feel like you're compensating for something. I think you're putting together a variety show.
I love variety shows.
And I think it's very Gemini. That suits you very well. And so it's like, why not do that?
Yeah, and then like
it's
the
also,
focus of
it's
the night doesn't have to be
adding
on me the whole time.
Appeal to everything else that's happening too, or it's like, yeah, why the fuck not?
I wouldn't be in the no ring match, but I would guest referee the no ring match.
Yeah,
in like a slutty little outfit.
There's just so much like Effy personality stuff. Like, I love that you're doing more of the commentary and everything.
Oh, I love it.
Because there's this deep thing that's happening in your chart right now that is moving you to think about things wrestling wise in a way that is different from how you've thought about them before. And it's only positive, but it is good to see you starting to open up some of these other slots and ideas and things. And so I think you just need to like Gemini play a little bit with all of it.
It's all about use. Wrestling used me for a lot of things, and now I'm going to use wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wear it down, and I'm going to abuse it, and it's going to wish that I didn't treat it so poorly, but it's going to be better for it. You know how
100%.
in shape wrestling's going to get when I take it over? That's what I keep telling people. When I retire from in-ring, which I don't, like, this isn't a real thing that's being considered, now that my knee is starting to really heal well, I'm like, yeah, let me get back in there. And we'll talk about this weekend's match in a minute. But seeing like, okay, there's no one that knows what they're doing. I mean, the top two shows, one is on Netflix and they don't show their ratings. The other one is not drawing the numbers it used to draw. And so you're kind of just looking across the landscape of wrestling where everybody has been performing as a wrestler, performing within wrestling with the intention of impressing someone to see them so they can do different wrestling. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like existing for the audience that showed up. Like, yeah, I have all these bookings, all these companies, all these places, GCWs everywhere, whatever. But it's also like I'm just coming into town to do the circus for the night and give the people a show. And it's never been intentionally something that I've been like, oh, here's the next step of it. Here's the next step of it. But I also am seeing the next steps of it. And I like would be dumb not to capitalize on participating and creating in wrestling outside of what I've done so far. Because like I've described before, I love being an in-ring performer, but there are times where you go like, this does feel like its own prison because of how much it is wearing my body out or how much it is wearing me mentally out, doing 30 hours of travel to do a single show, things like that, where it's like, if I have these other options and if I have these other ways that I'm processing my love of this art form of wrestling, then those things become less of a hold, you know, like I'm doing them out of choice rather than this is my job and I have to go do this thing. Because I've used wrestling in these other ways to pad around like what I'm actually getting done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, cool. It's fantastic.
I have big plans for the podcast.
Yeah, Petár has very big plans.
I've been working on a lot of stuff earlier this year that is yet to see its head, but will soon. And then I have stuff that I haven't told.
Was that a birthing reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have we're about to be in Scorpio season, so it's appropriate. And then I have stuff I haven't told you about that's a little bit more recent. That's going to take a long time, but will be very fitting, I think.
Find a shortcut. We don't have time, Peter. We got 9. Nestle says 9 years of fresh water.
We got work to do, but I think it's like really important work.
All right, good.
All right, let's move on to the next message.
Hell yeah.
All right, we got 2 more.
Hey, Effy, Peter, this is your pal Rick from California. Anyway, 200 episodes. Awesome. Anyway, I love you both. You both are fucking rad, and I don't know if it's really a question that I'm going to leave, but back about in July, we lost our dog Penelope. It was a fast-attacking cancer, and we had made the decision, Caitlin and I, to end what was starting to become very painful for her and letting her go. And it's been the hardest thing that I have done, and I've never had a dog love me like Penelope had. And there's been a few things kind of getting me through, and listening to the podcast and hearing you both, and everything has really, really helped. But I miss Penelope very much. And my question is in case, I'm sure you guys have had pets that you've lost, what have you done to try to get over that loss? I've tried everything, and I still cry every day, and I still miss her every day, and so does Caitlin and our little one. And I don't know if you guys have any tips or what you guys have done before in these situations. Anything would be helpful. Again, love you both. Effy, thank you for being just cool and great to me over the last few years. Peter, you too. Love y'all.
Thank you, Rick. Awesome to hear from you. This one, I'm not going to say it bums me out, but it makes you think. Listen, I've lost little pets, and I've lost chickens, and I've lost guinea pigs and gerbils. I haven't lost that one. And we have good days, and we have bad days.
Yeah.
And with a dog of her age, I sort of want to keep checking in and being like, okay, is she enjoying this? Is she enjoying the time she has? I'm glad we've helped you through it, but it's also... I'm coming to a tough time with her where, you know, she's not going to get more active. She's not going to get wilder, but it's also figuring out, okay, is this worse than it is, or is it her wheelchair that needs some kind of adjustment? Does she need a little more help with the wheelchair? Does she need a better food so she's not eating the chicken diarrhea food that I found out is the one fresh food that you're not supposed to give her? I think AJ goes, I told you this. And I was like, I did not get this message. I was not paying attention. So no, I don't have anything great for you. Historically with human death, for good or for bad, I'm very of the mindset of like, grieving is for us. The person is already dead, and I've been able to, I wouldn't even say compartmentalize, but just be very aware of like this person's energy has not past this point in time, and you got them for the time you got them. It's as dumb as it sounds. It's the same as someone like, I will remind people to take pictures with me when they come visit me at the merch table, right? Because you might forget, and I see the tweet too many times like, I just forgot, I was in the moment. And I'm also like, yo, like we're in the same universe at the same time in the same spot. That's crazy, right? Like I'm not saying it's because, oh, it's crazy you're next to Effy in the universe. I'm just saying like we're two humans in the universe of 9 billion that we know of. We're next to each other. We should take the picture.
It's ridiculous that any of this exists to begin with.
Yeah, like we
so
should
like,
probably
why not appreciate the fact that all of it's happening anyway? You know?
And then I get to see pictures of me from 4 years ago and go, I've aged really well. But with the animal, I think especially with her kind of having this deterioration over time, I've gotten a lot of time to sort of come to terms with it and be okay with it. And, you know, when she hits that point and she can't go anymore, it would be selfish of me to keep her in the world when she's like over it. But then I see her, you know, gnawing at the towels and wanting to go outside and
She's
forcing
still
me to
having a
walk
good
around the
time.
neighborhood. And you go, okay, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And especially with the chair, she was having trouble with the chair for a while. And now it's like, okay, we can go on a stroll around the neighborhood. I have the new chair with 4 wheels, and she can use that one to be, you know, a little easier to hook up and eat. Because what she was doing is she kept going outside and trying to sniff and dig, and she would lose her footing in the 2-wheeled wheelchair. And so now she can kind of go out there and she's figuring out, okay, I can do these things again.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that she doesn't want to dig or can't dig. She's in a chair that doesn't allow her to dig, and she's trying to dig. And she doesn't have the brain to go, oh, but then some people would see that and go, oh, she's already struggling. She keeps falling over. And you go like, nah, maybe the technology we gave her is not great.
Yeah.
And then you give her the right technology and you go, yeah, see, she's just still
Yeah.
doing the thing. She makes me go down that private driveway the whole way. No one's come out and said anything yet, but not like all the way to the end, like to the end and then further around the corner, and like she'll push her legs and stop me. And, you know, so we're still in a place where she's doing great. She requires a lot of work. She needs a lot of help. I think you made the right decision, Rick. I think a dog can't tell you like, yo, this shit sucks. They can kind of tell you, but they can't like tell you outright. And I think you have to kind of be the more mature person in the situation. I don't know what the solution is. I know, I don't want to say like, I don't want to compare this to like when they tell you to have a rebound.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's okay to get a cute baby to come in, and
that is, because it's like I don't want to tell you to like, okay, it's time to move on and like replace the dog, you know, because that's not very honoring to the dog that was just there. But it's like, you know, because the whole thing, and you know, I think this is what you're saying without saying it, is we know the end is coming for Cranberry,
right?
Like, we know that's around the corner,
right?
It's closer to than it is far away,
right?
And it could be one of those things where she's doing great, and then over the weekend she's done.
Yeah.
And you know, like, we will cross that point when we get to it, but we also have 2 safety dogs,
right, that we can hug, that we can lay with,
but then they're gonna die too.
Yeah, everyone's gonna die. Peter, go back. Let's go back a few episodes. Everything's poop. I can't wait to be poop.
But it's everything's poop, and then everything's also not poop. There is all this great stuff that comes out of that, and yes, you do have to let go at it for a certain, but like, that's what this whole thing is.
Yeah,
that's what the whole thing is.
You got to do it.
And so sorry, I'm getting emotional right now.
You can get emotional,
Rick. Let yourself feel all of that as deeply as you can possibly feel it, and then when it's time, fall in love with that next dog, and you know, like, be honoring to Penny, but also like she would want good things for you, you know? Sorry, I'm fucking losing it.
That's awesome.
Dogs destroy me. And
we got to episode 200. You can lose it a little bit. Oh, God.
Like, I am going to be so completely wrong when Lucy goes. Like, that is also my whole soul right there.
The person you are today with Lucy as she is not the person you will be when you have to make those choices.
100%.
And so the fact that you're grieving it now, I think you're doing your homework.
Oh, I mean, that is.
I think there's a lot of people that they're not. They wouldn't consider that the dog has to go.
Yeah.
They wouldn't consider that the dog could, you know, come across something very bad. And so you haven't had that time to go like, oh, I better appreciate this now because this dog is here.
I'm so grateful for all of the pets that I've lost I've lost human beings, I've lost dogs, I've lost cats, I've lost other weird gerbil-related things. We've lost chickens, and I had such a deep connection with fucking what's her face? Not Reese Witherspoon.
Nicole Kidman?
I just
We
had
fly the flag.
such a connection with her, and I was not having a good time this year, and then she died, and she fucking turned all of it around for me. Like, there was just something alchemical about that death that moved me into a different place. And while that's not, the same with because it's also a chicken, it's like you can shorten the grieving process a little bit.
Listen, I don't know. There's something a bit too historically symbolic about the death of a chicken that's sort of like, I don't know. When Reese was killed, it was right before that eclipse.
This is true.
When Nicole was killed, you're saying you're kind of feeling like
I saw
and it's like, I don't want to say we have the chickens as a buffer from spectral forces, but also like they do seem to pull the problems in before they can get into the house. And so who knows without their sacrifice where it would be
yeah, I mean, you're hitting something there because that is how it's.
And I'm not saying dogs are protected
works.
for it, but also like, that dog was there for a
but
reason.
it also like, the sacrifice of a life form is a massive part of like the history of spirituality and religion. And while it's not something that I agree with, because I think we've made modifications along the way that make it to where you don't have to do stuff like that anymore, it is interesting to almost have them as a like sacrificial symbol of, the continued peace of the rest of the house.
Yeah. It's pretty peaceful.
So I don't know. We're just talking about a lot of like big and small dynamics with all of this stuff. And it's just like there isn't an easy fixed solution to any of it because it's difficult and then it becomes not difficult. And it's just like letting that shift and change for you, it's seasons to life. And this has been a particularly tough year. We haven't been hit like this as human beings in a long time, and so it's there's so much changing, but that's also really good.
It is good, and it has been a year. It's been a year, and thanks for sticking with us. I'm glad we can bring a little joy to that, and we can light up your adventurous soul.
I mean, if this silly thing that we do is helping anybody at any time, it's like that's pretty awesome,
pretty sick, net positive. Gives you a little room to yell at the power company when they pull up at your house. Twice this week I've yelled at power company employees.
Okay, this is our last one.
Hi, Effy. Hi, Petár. This is Cherry. I waited until my edible kicked in to call, so I don't give a shit if I sound stupid. So, hey, fun times. Congratulations on 200 episodes. I've been there since the very start, and it's been a fun ride. And y'all, seriously, the weather reports from Petár are worth the money for the Patreon alone. So y'all get on that. It's seriously cool. Y'all remember that backyard wrestling video game back in the day? I think they should bring that back, but like team up with GCW. Just you have like Effy teaming up with Andy WK versus Violent J and like some cool adult film actress or something. That'd be dope. But yeah, hey, if you guys were in a like fighting game, like Street Fighter type stuff, what would your like super obnoxious, like over the top finisher KO move be? Alright, bye, love ya.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Cherry. Good idea to wait for the edible to kick in. The weather reports, see, some people see that. I don't think they know what you're fucking talking about, Peter. And I love you. But it's astrological weather.
Oh, yeah.
When we're just like, check out the weather reports, they're like, what are these fuckers talking about?
Well,
rain?
maybe I'll change the name then.
Called it the Astro Guide for the Timeline.
All right, it's because
I just don't want people to miss out on it because they think we're just
no.
talking
You're
about
right because I have
Geostorm.
I have this. I have this perception that people think astrology is really stupid and illegitimate, and I don't like participating in those kinds of conversations. I would rather just let my work speak for itself. And the amount of people whose minds that I've changed about this stuff is pretty significant at this point. Like, I think my batting average is good, but it is also me just wanting to be like, oh, astrology is kind of lame.
Peter, but you sound like me when I was figuring out how gay I needed to be
Yeah.
in wrestling,
Yeah.
where you're just like, they
Well,
don't
see, this is-
if I'm a really good wrestler, they won't care how gay I am.
Yeah.
Because I can't cover
Yeah.
up parts of that. And
Yeah.
in fact, they wanted you to be gay.
Yeah.
And wrestling.
Yeah. I just do need to. It's my Capricorn resists. A lot
Well,
of
since
this
I've
stuff.
been doing those a little bit with you, I've really enjoyed it, and I've really.
It's been so nice having someone to talk to on those. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, well, good. Let's keep it up. Effy's going to be on the weather reports going forward. We're going to do great. And
I make more sense when I have someone to talk to.
talking to yourself is why I wouldn't do a podcast without you. I'm not just going to sit here and talk to myself, Peter. I'm going to force someone who kind of understands what's going on in wrestling very slightly from the outside to listen to me complain about it. I'm not even complaining that much anymore. That's what's funny. We used to go more viral because I would talk more shit, but then I had to learn.
But then you read affected things.
We've
We've
I went
affected a
through it-
lot of stuff.
I went through it the other day. If you go down the timeline of just like one particular company doing certain things against me, and from the start of Big Gay Brunch, I've like actively hurt people's careers because they couldn't punish me on multiple cases of people that were forced into horrible conversations and meetings with people they've looked up to, with people who were fired on my show days that they were on, with people who have ended up getting to escape their contracts. And like, I just want everyone to know, 200 episodes, I'm going to be a little more cautious, only for the sake of other people, but I'm still going to say my part. Because my part is, when wrestling is good, it's an actual trickle-down economy that actually works pretty well. Trickle-down has never worked in any other economic space, but when more people know about wrestling or don't think wrestling is corny as hell, because it's not like we're a new art form, people are figuring it out. We're an art form that's so old we're fighting against the fact that most people know it from 1998. That's it. And they've given up on it.
I truly do think that the more people you get to come to, especially the stuff that you do,
Yeah.
I think you get more wrestling fans.
Right.
I think that energy is so
But
contagious.
that's the problem too, is like everything gets spread through social media. And so it's like, we just have to continue getting these like images and clips of ourselves out doing this thing where they go, that isn't what I thought this was.
But like, all right, like for example, that Monk's Meadery thing.
yeah,
If I was me 5 years ago,
they followed me back on
didn't-
Instagram.
didn't know you, didn't
Right.
know anything about any of this, and I went to that,
Yeah.
or I heard about that, I would go to it, and then I would go to it again. Like,
and you would
it's-
text someone and go, you're not going to believe what I'm watching right now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
behind the meadery and there's
Yeah.
blood
Yeah,
everywhere.
we still want to go to the Coliseum,
Yeah, 100%.
and y'all. Well, I mean, not all the time, but it's the ethical Coliseum, because it has the pretend fantasy aspect of it. I know y'all are actually getting hurt and everything, but there is something a little removed from it that is
also,
making
these are
it-
guys who still do this 50 to 100 to 150 times
Yeah.
a year. Yes, they're hurt, but like, there's also something super tough about like, I know I'm going to get superficially cut in a way that's not going to kill me or affect me permanently, except for maybe some scarring. I'm willing to do that to make these people go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the toughest thing. When people are like,
Yeah.
isn't it fake? And you're like, you wish it was. You
Yeah.
wish it was. But here's the thing too. I think tickets for their event were $30 or under. And like, if you wanted to get general admission to a gay brunch in Las Vegas, it would be like $35 to $40 a ticket with fees and stuff. I'm pretty sure. Here's the prices for WrestleMania seats for WrestleMania 42. And these are, I think this was this last year's? No, this was this year coming up. Upper level tickets in a stadium are starting at about $854.
You don't want to look at something that's not AI?
Peter, do you know where they
I
pull
made him scroll and
the
move down to
information
a
up?
real source.
Do you know where they pull the information from?
I not Reddit.
Section A1 on the floor. Now let's go from the 400 section. 400 section, $854 before fees. 300 section, $1,100. 200 level, $1,300. 100 level, $1,500. Floor, $2,200. Section B on the floor, $3,800. Section A1 on the floor, $9,000 a seat. You can go see a full wrestling show at a venue with performers who are, going to be able to be seen from your seats. I think that's a big thing. There's no difference in the performers. I'm going to tell you this. For about 1/20th of the price of the floor seats to go to WrestleMania. And that's the thing they're seeing now too, is a lot of these fans aren't like keeping up with the TV throughout the year. They're just going because it is a way to show off.
Yeah.
Like you're just the value of
yeah.
those social media likes. It's not, you're not paying this much for the event. You're paying this much to say that you were in this space for the event,
which is from a business standpoint, a really smart thing to exploit.
They've said they don't think they're exploiting the ticket price enough. TKO has come out and said
I'm
that
sure.
They don't think they've exploited this ticket price enough. People are going to it. And I worry that that's what we're going to get to. And I've like brought this up before.
I'm not approving of this. I'm just like fascinated by like
almost
how clever it is.
the Studio 54ification of the wrestling, where the audience that's there and the stars that are there are both a part of the like film. They're both a part of what's being filmed, and then the regular proletariat, the people out here in the streets, have to just watch from the camera from a distance. And like I look at GCW shows like that where, you've only got 500 people in a room, but you have thousands of people watching online at home, and you go, okay, if this ticket price was even higher, you could have this many seats, but then you would have more people who would have to just watch it from home. And you go, that seems like we're boxing out the people that we want to come to the shows. That seems like a bad idea. It would seem like a better idea to make it affordable when it's in town and make it accessible when it's not in town. But instead, they're just going, well, we can make this so unaffordable that you're forced to watch it from the stream, and it's effective for them and it works. And so it's going to kind of like take pointing the consumers in our direction to go like, not all of us are end level capitalists that are trying to just exploit this to its final point.
Well, no wonder they went to fucking Saudi Arabia then.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia pays more than
just go where
they
the
combined all the
money
ticket
is.
sales from WrestleManias, and like the 1 5-year deal they signed was a larger amount of money than all 32 previous WrestleManias or something. Ticket sales wise, this isn't including their pay-per-views and stuff and what they did, in digital streaming. But like to say we can do 30 years of this event ticket money wise in 5 shows, what the hell? Of course they're doing it. So we saw it with the freaking comedians going over there.
Taylor, they're just like us though.
It's, Dave Chappelle actually said it's easier to have free speech over here. It's even easier in Saudi Arabia to have free speech. I'm not even allowed to tell people how much I love Charlie Perk.
The thing that is so alarming about all of that rhetoric is just how similar right now feels to like early 70s Iran. Where are we going to look back at photos from this time and go, God, remember when? I
think it. At least when they're doing the stuff out loud, it's in front of everyone. But now it's like we're in the era of distraction, and it's very easy to say like, "Look how much fun the comedians are having. We had Queen of the Ring over here. We love women," and then you can kind of just do whatever you want. Oh, we're having such a good time. The plane is stuck on the tarmac, and they refuse to let you leave the country. Vince has been gone for 2 days. God, crazy. We're going to keep making events accessible. I want Big Gay Brunch to be accessible to people, but it is like, it's frustrating and it's rewarding because regular marketing doesn't work for us, right? Like we could dump a bunch of money into marketing. And my big thing recently has been, Brett, fly me in a day early. Let me coordinate some morning radio spots and tell people what the heck's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Because there are people, especially, we're going to talk about Alaska in a second, but there are people in all of these towns where wrestling fans know we're coming. There's a large contingent of wrestling fans, and wrestling fans who tell their friends know we're coming. This groundswell works with us. And the reason we should take pride in that is because if the product is bad, You can market someone to get anywhere, right? You can spend all the money and make somebody get anywhere. But if they go there, they won't come back. But what we're seeing is when we return to these towns or when we return to places, there's more people there that haven't been before. That we need a bigger venue than we went to the last time. We need, more seating on the stage because we've got more people coming in. And so to go and see it grow like that, it's rewarding because it means your product is good. And all advertising is supposed to point towards getting someone to use your product because it's good, which is not what it's used anymore for. But it's frustrating because we have that slower growth of people going, no, you've got to see this thing. And the growth of that is just through the communication of people who know people, but to be able to get some of these other platforms to say like, yo, you may not follow us online. You may not know, the history of all these wrestling companies. You may not be on the forums, which is how like a lot of these things are found and a lot of these communities are built. But like if we told you Wild Wrestling was in town and you could bring the kids and it was $25 versus you're paying more than that to go see a movie, and you've got, a 3-hour night of fun, it's okay for us to tuck our tails and be like, yeah, okay, we're GCW, we're the Last Outlaws. We've done incredible things that you wouldn't believe. But also go like, hey, the wrestling show's in town. And not worry if you know about GCW or not worry if you know Effy out the gate or if you understand deathmatch style.
Taylor, you know me. I don't know about any of the fucking shit that's going on at these shows. I have such a good time.
Yes.
I'm always asking you dumb questions about things
Please.
And like stuff that's wrong. And it's so much fun to go to, though.
Yeah, it is very fun.
Like
and
to where I have to be completely honest with you. I'm a little annoyed that I haven't been invited to your past couple of local dates.
Do you want to go on the 24th?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to bring you. We're
Okay.
going to Alpharetta for the
Okay.
Dynamic Wrestling Association. I'm going to be facing Jay Lucas. It's a Friday night. I'm missing Shotzi's show because I signed up for this show first. And then after that, I'm going to drive straight to Florida to have a Fans Bring the Weapons match in Florida at the Fest. And then I'm going to drive back and then drive back to Florida for this wedding. Isn't that incredible?
That's awesome.
A local weekend. Just doing a quick local weekend with my friends and fam. It's going to be very fun. Are you nervous to drive in a car that long with me?
No.
I've driven this Florida route a lot. I used to drive to Miami and back for Blueprint Pro Wrestling because they would pay me and then they would give me a bunch of
I just
sick
don't want to
8x10s.
annoy you by grabbing the panic handle all the time.
What do you mean?
Just
Are you panicking?
No, I always panic when I ride with you.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
fair.
panic when I ride with anybody.
Yeah, but it's fair with me. I'll be honest.
But you're also very. It just doesn't help that I've had like dreams about you getting in car accidents and stuff.
Well, the last time you said that, what did I do? I got rid of the car,
Yeah.
which it needed to go. You were like,
Yeah.
you're going to die in that car.
I think it was because I don't know. My dreams are never very literal, and so I think it was about your leg. I don't think it was about a car accident.
Well, my leg is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into that because I went somewhere new this week, and I went to what they call the Last Frontier for GCW's The Last Frontier, which you can watch the replay of on Triller, Alaska. You know about Alaska?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I've been 2 places in the United States.
Sarah Palin can see it from her house in Russia, right?
I can see Russia from my house. Oh, I talk like that. No one in Alaska talks like that, so I don't know what the hell's wrong with her. The Final Frontier, Alaska. I've stepped off the plane at 2 different places and said, "Oh, we're not supposed to be here." Okay. The first is Hawaii, the 50th state, where I got there in the middle of Polynesia in the South Pacific and said, oh, yeah, that's right. This is not. They always put it on the America maps like it's right outside of California. And that has ruined. That's the first brain rot we ever were a part of.
Yeah.
Was believing that those states were anywhere near our country. Nowhere near our country. Just straight up in Asia. So that was the first time I felt like I'm on stolen land, which I was. Which we can call it a state, but like we do not own Hawaii. And then I get to Alaska, funny enough, the final 2 states, and I went, oh, this became a state post Elvis. We don't belong here, and I feel an energy. Now they say there's a giant pyramid in Alaska, okay, underground. You know about this?
Mm-mm.
I think they say it's like a conspiracy. There's an ancient alien technology under the ice. They blur the Google Maps. It's a huge black pyramid under the ice, they say. Many people have gone missing searching for it. I think this is just the white way of saying, I feel icky because I'm on stolen land. Like, we have to make up a whole, well, the aliens could have come years ago and built an ancient pyramid, and that's why the energies are off here. Or we could acknowledge this is not for us. And I'm sorry to everyone, I had a great time and all that. This is the thing about Alaska. Every time I had these thoughts and feelings of this feels like I'm not supposed to be here, or this doesn't feel like the land that white people should be treading on, I also was slapped in the face by how freaking awesome Alaska is. Like, what an awesome, cool, crazy, sick place to see. I've seen the Rockies. I've seen the Appalachians. I've seen all these things. Just the little mountains around Anchorage, it is overwhelming. We ended up, doing a little bit of exploration. I got there a little late for the first exploration, though. And I have to tell this story from what I've heard firsthand, okay? Now, Brett had everybody there kind of early, and so there was a large group of people on the shows that were like, yeah, let's go on a little hike. Let's go check out one of these trails. Now, granted, I don't think they knew it was going to be an 8 to 10 mile hike round trip. But they were warned about the moose. Now, have you ever been given a moose warning?
No.
I have. The first time I went to Canada, my friend's grandma was like, guys, do not go out too far in the woods. The moose could get you, and it's territorial season. And it was when we went to Alaska too. And you're kind of like, oh yeah, moose. It's a big deer. No, it's a 9-foot tall behemoth of a creature that's territorial and has giant horns. So they get on this trail, and the young boys, as I'll call them, which would be like Jordan and Alec and Marcus, maybe someone else, they're like, we're going to go ahead and make sure it's safe. They then spent 45 minutes hiding behind trees because the moose was coming towards them and was very close. There's a video on Alec Price's Twitter that you can go see where the moose is far too close. And he's like, nah, dude, not this moose, bro. And it's incredible to see. Manders on the way gave the moose warning and was like, guys, if we see moose out there, like, don't mess with them. And they were kind of like joking with him, like, but you're a cowboy, dude. Like, what's a moose to a cowboy? And he goes, the moose would end my life. Dead serious. And like, listen, Manders is a guy that has a good time. Shout out Manders. But he also like knows things that men know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm not a man, but I'm saying like there are things that men know.
You're not a Manders.
I'm not a man. There's only one called Manders. And he knows, like, don't mess with the moose. So Manders is like back with Joey and Brett and a few people, I think maybe Billy. And they are like, where are you guys? And they're like, yo, they call them and they're like, yo, there's a moose up here. Don't come. And everybody's like, they must be ribbing us. Like, this must be a freaking rib. This must be a joke. And then they get up there and they had been just stuck on the trail. All the ground that they had covered, they were just stuck on the trail with a few people just hiding from the moose. They also were given by someone up there at the park a full can of bear spray. And I was like, did you guys like buy that to go to the woods? And they were like, no. They asked us if we had any and we did not have any. So they gave us this full thing. They've just got bear spray on deck in Alaska. And the story sounded incredible, right? I was so happy I did not land any earlier. I was so happy that I was just like able to land and then not do that. And I ended up getting, some sandwiches and we hung out. It was a beautiful time. We saw Alaska. The next morning, though, we went up to, this is how easy it is to impress me. We walked up to the corner store, right, from the hotel. And it's corner store, pizza restaurant, Subway, karate store, massage parlor, and then right over next to that, plane parking off the lake. So you can land your plane on the water, and then you park your plane over here, and then you can walk up to the corner store as you've parked your plane. What? You're just like, we're not in a place that's real right now. This doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so cool.
It's very cool, but it's also like, you're trying to pretend everything's normal and there's a Subway, you know, and like people are learning karate. And then you're like, there's a guy landing a plane over here to come up to the store to get beer, to get some Coors Banquet. Because they don't drink baby beer up in Alaska. Okay. We went to a restaurant called Gwinny's. And I say this, I've often joked, like, people are like, oh, why do you live in the South? And I'm like, mild homophobia to keep me sharp and biscuits and gravy. And Alaska actually did that without any of the homophobia. So I think their biscuits and gravy were superior. She goes, it's served with bacon. Is that okay? And I said, yeah. So I got a half order of biscuits and gravy, which is a giant biscuit cut in half in a trough, filled to the brim with gravy, and then a piece of bacon on top. And I was like, what is happening here? The prices were cheap. It was magical in this restaurant. They had all these animals and moose. You can see it on the vlog if you're on the Patreon, weekend@effys.com. And I was just like, we're not supposed to be here, but I see why we stayed. Everything is so good. I learned about a new thing. They had a name for it. And I want to get this right because people are like, oh, that's crazy. Alaska. Hold on here. It is called the PFD, the Permanent Fund Dividend. And we really must have come on the right weekend. I don't think Brett planned it this way, but it's smart. Every citizen of Alaska, not every household, every citizen of Alaska every year on October 2nd is given the PFD. So they're given about $1,700 a piece. And after that weekend, though, like this, it signifies the end of summer. And everybody's like, yeah, they got the PFD, but now that means it's winter. And now that means it's getting cold. And it goes from having in the summer around 18 hours of light a day to around the opposite 5 to 6, sometimes 3 or 4 hours of light a day. The tourists are not coming in then. They told us how the weather would be, and it was perfect. It was like straight up Liverpool weather. Like I've just been in this like wonderful, like it's 55 and a little cover and it looks like it's going to rain, but it never really does weather where you're like, oh, I need a coat. And I was wearing my $9 Primark coat from Liverpool in the Alaskan wilderness. We did think about this though. Me and Drew Parker this year, because people are like, oh, you know, like Cole Roderick's been injured and Mance has been on TNA and is my enemy. Like, you know, Allie's been gone. Who are you hanging out with? And I like couldn't think for a second. I was like, oh, a lot of Manders, thank God. But also me and Drew Parker have seen the world this year. In the past like 3 months alone, not even going back to Las Vegas and forward, we had the Gathering of the Juggalos, Tokyo, Japan, Liverpool, and now we're together in Alaska. And it's like my BFF from Wales. We just travel the world and get paid to do it. I will say, side note, Manders and Drew Parker fought at the show in Alaska. And Brett is so effective because he was like, they were like, oh, we want to do this. We want to do weapons. We want to do blood. And he was like, no, I don't think you need it. You can't just have a good wrestling match. And I've never seen both of them more fired up. And then they went out to have just an I went to watch it on the stage, and Brett came over to me while he was, you know, doing production and stuff. And he goes, they're eating, aren't they? And I go, yeah, dude, you must have sparked something in them because they are eating. I mean, they were tearing each other up, just fists and slaps and wrestling and moves and kicks. And seeing the little smile on Brett's face as he was like, exactly. Like I knew how to pull it out of him tonight. And they didn't need all the extra stuff tonight. Like Drew's got to have 2 death matches next weekend. One with Mr. Danger and I think one with Emerson Jane. And he's going to go ballistic. And I'm worried about his health. And I love him. And I'll tell him to be careful 1,000 times this weekend. And nothing will change. And it'll be fine. And I'll have to live with it. But then to see that, like, yeah, dude, you are a sick just wrestler. And Manders, of course, being like, oh, I don't get any doors tonight? Okay, well, then I'll show you how to slam somebody is sort of the vibe I got. I mean, their chests were hamburger meat because Drew Parker looks smaller than Manders he is. They both, like, people forget Drew Parker came up heavily 4 years in the Japanese scene getting his ass kicked by everyone. And so like when you chop him, he goes, "Oh yeah, let me show you, buddy," because he's just like had to take punishment forever from these Japanese studs. And now he's like, "Oh, Manders, you want to hit hard? You like All Japan? Okay, let's do it then." It's just beautiful to watch those two beat each other up. I don't want to skip over anything. And we did do some more exploring that I'll get back to, but I kind of have to bring up once again, I never like hearing the compliments today from everyone on episode 200. I feel like I'm so successful in some ways that if I sit in compliments, I'm being greedy, right? Which is like incorrect. Like I should be fine being complimented. I'm going to compliment myself on this one. The debut for GCW in Anchorage, Alaska featured a main event that was 2 gay guys for the world championship.
Wow.
That's incredible. And it wasn't just like, oh, we should do a historic main event where we make it 2 gay guys. It was Effy versus Chris Wilde. Chris Wilde, that music hit over like Rover. The Alaskan fans knew Chris Wilde, were familiar with Chris Wilde, came to see Chris Wilde. The Alaskan fans were familiar with Effy as well. It is like never lost on me that I go to a place I've never been and people are like, "We know who you are. We're familiar with your work." Like I got to see people who like I haven't ever gotten to meet before, who have been fans for a while, who have followed for a while. And that's why it's important to ship this meat wherever it needs to go. I get it now. First off, I want to say the poster picture shown of Chris Wilde does not clearly show how large Chris Wilde is. This man is 6'2" and wide, has shoulders and muscles. And I like got to the arena and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess so." And then we got in the match and like, this has been my blessing and my curse, right? When people get in the ring with me, a lot of the time, they're like, "Oh, I've really wanted this match," or "This has been a match I've always wanted to have," or like, you know, "It's crazy to be in the ring with you. You've done so much stuff." And then they have to prove it. And I'm tired of having people prove it on me, Peter, because they prove it very well. Chris Wilde beat my ass. I mean, must be 6'2", 230, 240. Back chopped me, front chopped me. There's one, we were in the car later going to like check out some cool stores. And Joey goes, "Look at this clip. Look at him chucking your ass." And just shows me again, not like a, typically The Rock does a move called the rock bottom, right? He puts his arm on someone and he picks them up and he goes down with them. And it's a variation of a move called an uranagi, which is just an arm cross front suplex. This man just picked me up out of the air and held me up there a minute and then just kind of threw me at an open chair from a distance. And Joey was cracking up, going, "This boy just chucked your ass." And I said, "I know, Joey. I'm very aware that this boy just cracked my ass." At one point, I tried to jump on him in a chair. He moved. I go through the chair on the floor. And then he just scoops me off the floor, holds me up while I'm like, "Please stop doing this," and tosses me on the edge of the ring. I sometimes show up and like I'm unfamiliar with my opponent. And so I'm caught off guard, but usually I can find my way out of things pretty easily. I was being pummeled. And none of this as a complaint, Peter, because that's what we need. I need people to be reminded that gay men are not fragile creatures in many cases. And this is a 6'2" in rainbow socks, in pantyhose, did a Hulk Hogan rip of the Wrestling is Gay shirt off of themselves, which I thought was phenomenal. Attitude, rude, and backed it up with strength. What a freaking stud in Chris Wilde. And what a cool thing to get to showcase, especially to the people watching back on Triller or people who just knew Effy. Like, yo, these talents are out here, and it's not because they're not trying hard or not working hard or not having great matches. It's just very hard to sometimes get your stuff out to the rest of the world. And beyond GCW, like providing for all these TV companies to know who's up and who's next and try to get them on their roster because they see how sick they are on our roster, it's also our way to showcase these people to our audience. And get them into the discussions of like, I heard people calling out like, damn, it would be crazy to see Chris Wilde with so-and-so. It'd be crazy to see Chris Wilde with so-and-so. And now I'm like thinking about the brunch, coming up next year and going, maybe we pull some strings and get the boy down from Alaska and throw him out to the wolves and see what happens. Because now I've gotten my match out of the way, right? Now I get to go, I know how dangerous you are. I get to put you up against someone else. I get to put you in a position where I go like, I want to see if they can throw you. Like Pero would be nervous is what I'm saying. Like if Pero would be like, Chris Wilde, who's this? It's Locktober. All my boys have keys. Which sorry to the fans on Twitter that someone from WWE tweeted a lock with a devil emoji, and I just quote tweeted it with Locktober. And Pero was like, are you going to explain to them what that is? And then there were a few comments that were like, just Googled it. I don't want to know anymore. But if if that's your thing, that's your thing. I didn't think that was what they were referencing. But yeah, Pero would be scared of Chris Wilde, I think. I was scared. I barely got out of there with my life. I main evented Alaska. Now, this is my favorite part of the whole show. We were all talking about this. I know they have the footage of this. It was not live on the air. I finished the show. I put over Chris Wilde for beating my ass. That's always fun to do after someone beats your ass, is when they hand you the microphone and go put him over. So I was like, awesome. Yeah, thank you for kicking my ass. I did put over 907 Wrestling, which they've been holding it down in Alaska. They run Fairbanks. They run Juneau. They run Anchorage. Someone said, why did they have the aprons for 907 Wrestling up when it's a GCW show? And I went, there's two reasons. One, if they have their own aprons and they want to showcase, they were the ones that helped us get the show going, helped us have a ring when we got there, helped us know where to stay, where to go, what to do. And they were wonderful. JT and his whole team, incredible at 907 Wrestling. Number two is, and this is harder for people to explain, and this is where like, I don't think we're sports entertainment in some ways, because I think Brett thinks ring aprons are gaudy and they detract from the vision being imposed by the wrestlers in the ring. And you look at WWE and they have the like HD screens on the side of the ring. And it's not that like he's not trying to have them. There are a lot of shows where we have ring aprons or GCW ring aprons, or we had the cool JCW versus GCW ring apron, but it's not something that factors into a good wrestling show to him. If it's there and cool and great, and I'm sorry if you like having a ring apron, that's on you. But to me, there's something that's kind of like, show me what you got, about going, no, we'll make it an even simpler version of the setup and give you the best wrestling possible and make you forget that every one of these stories that were shown in the ring is happening under no backdrop other than a wrestling ring, just a wrestling ring. So the reason that 907 put them up is because they rule, they deserve the shout out on Fight, and they deserve the visibility. But also, I promise you, GCW does not give a shit about ring aprons. And if that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. If you think we should be spending money on beautiful ring aprons, cool, bro. Fund the money. But I think you should tune in and you should go, why is there a bunch of broken glass and doors under this ring right now? Oh shit, why are they going back under there to get more of it? Like, there's just something really raw and electric about that. So the end of the show, I'm cutting the promo and I put over 907 Wrestling like I just did. I put over the team. I put over Alaska coming out and seeing the Last Outlaws in person, and the amount of people that were there saying, thank you for even coming here. It's awesome. But then there was a guy, and he was like a special guy, and he came in the ring and everybody kind of knew him. And they tell you not to do this. And the reason they tell you not to do this is because of what happened. And it's awesome. I just said, he was like reaching for the mic, and I was like, yeah, dude. And I gave the kid the mic. And he started cutting a promo, and I don't know what he was saying in the promo, but I'll tell you this. He knew the correct, like, up and down the flow of a promo, the way a promo should sound. And he ended it with a big, like, hoorah kind of moment, and everybody goes nuts. I remember Jordan Oliver going, yeah, and I'm going, yeah, and we're all so pumped. The audience is going nuts. Crazy show. Give it to the kid. Let him take over. And then he chucks that microphone straight in the air and starts flexing. And everybody, I want to see the freeze frame on camera, because everybody goes, because we know you're not supposed to throw the mic. I didn't tell him not to, and I don't think he would have listened. But I made a choice as champion to just hand this kid the mic. And I was like, all right, well, that's what happens. But I think it was awesome. It was crazy though. It was just like after everything, it was crazy. It was a magic day in Alaska. Now the next day we went out to Wasilla, I think is the place. We drove out through the mountains to a lake, and we did like a little hike around the lake, and they found a bridge that goes to an island on this lake. And everybody was like, oh, we should go out on the island. But then every board they tried to step on was like not, it was floating. It wasn't like it was a bridge. But they're like, no, further down, it's like solid. We just got to get to this point. And so Brett went and Marcus Mathers went. And me and Drew and Rough Scarlet were like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. And we just kind of left. And then we see Alec Price running down the trail. And he's like, where are they? I was like, they're going to the island. And I'm trying to give him instructions on how they got out there. And he goes, and they all come back and they're like, you should have gone on the island. You should have gone. But they're not pointing out the fact that this man is wet up to his knees. Alec had run out there and somehow it had gone wrong. And I'm like, we have to board the plane in like 2 hours, dude. This is why I didn't go on the island. And did I feel any less exploratory for not going out there? A little bit, yeah. You know, everybody's going out on the crazy island.
I mean, there might have been a moose on the island. You don't know.
There was voles. Do you know about voles? They're like muskrats. I don't know. But I also was very dry on my flight home from Alaska.
Yeah.
It is
Sounds
crazy.
like a net positive.
Like my match was 20 minutes, right? This is like, I just want you to hear how crazy this is. For my 20-minute match, if you just include the flights, not the total time, my match was 20 minutes and it was 0.011 of the amount of time I spent flying, which is, I think that's 1%. It's like a little over 1% of my time was spent wrestling versus the amount of time I was spent flying.
Wow.
I wouldn't change it. The week before, I did a lot of travel to and from England. Wouldn't change it. Next week, I'm going to go to New Jersey. That's the shortest trip I have kind of this run, because then I'm going to go to Spokane, Washington. And then I'm going to go, well, you're like, oh, Atlanta. But like I said, I'm going to do a 10-hour round trip drive, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a 12-hour round trip drive. And we're going to have a great time. It's going to be beautiful. Alaska was magic. I'm so excited we got to go. I did kind of harass everybody into making it a 3-day run next time so we can hit the people in the other towns as well. But this was kind of the first run, the first trial. And if anybody out there is wondering, when's GCW coming to my state? They've never been here. I got the lowdown on some new debuts. I got the lowdown on some new states. And Brett is going to hit all 50 states. And I think that's really incredible to do and to be a part of. And we kind of went back. He was like, when did you start with us? And I was like, I started with you in the clusterfuck at the beginning of 2019. So 6 years consecutively. And so I've done a lot of states with them, but there were even more states they were doing before with some of their deathmatch runs. And the ones he's marking off the list, I've done a few of them in other ways. But I think like it's going to be even crazier to do with the GCW as we have it now. Thank you to everybody who listens, who shares, who tells people. You know, I'm sure if you're listening here, somebody had to tell you about us or tell you about Effy or have you pointed in this direction. And so we're going to continue that because I think our product here is good. I think my wrestling product's good. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing because sometimes, and I have to tell this to new kids, it's not the product, it's the distribution. And so we're going to keep getting our distribution through natural means. We're going to keep finding new people who didn't know we were out here. And we're going to keep making sure that everybody who listens to us enjoys the stuff going forward and doesn't feel like they have to hop off the ride. You know, I want the ride to continue. It is pretty crazy that we have 200 weeks of in the middle of Effy on the run of a lifetime, just like what's going on that week. It is crazy. And I'm glad you're all listening, but this is all just for use for when I have dementia or CTE later. I can listen back to who I was. Do you think I'm smarter or dumber than when we started the podcast?
I think you're relatively the same.
Wow. You would think there would be growth in a direction. It sounds like, what's that syndrome where you think you're so good that you never change?
Was it Bader Meinhof?
Dunning-Kruger?
Dunning-Kruger. Yeah. I was one of those two.
Yeah, as soon as you said that one, it came into my head as the right one.
No, of course you've improved. Were you kidding me?
Yeah, we're gonna.
I think we've gotten better at this too.
I just also, with this knee injury, I really needed that match to come back to because like the swelling's down. I still am fragile for my own sake with it. But getting through
I told you this wasn't a quick one and done.
Yeah, no,
You
it's definitely not.
You didn't like that.
I don't like that. I'm very impatient, Peter.
But you see how I'm correct, though.
You're
right?
correct, and but because you're correct, I'm going to continue like taking it a step at a time.
Yeah.
But this was to do a 20-minute main event, a singles match. I think I'm very confident in my skills and my abilities, and especially to do it with a wrestler I've never met who has something to prove out there. That's the job. The job is, can you make your importance transfer via battle? And I can. I've proved it. And guess what? I never run out of importance. I'm running into more importance. Okay, before I get too cocky, thank you all for 200 episodes. Thank you, Peter, for 200 episodes.
Thank you for bringing me along on this wild journey.
I'm glad you're on it. You're stuck with it now.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, yeah, Peter's stuck. Because I'm stubborn and consistent, and I will keep going. And you're stubborn and consistent, and will keep me going. And so, like, what a perfect mix.
Yep.
I hope I don't have to see Tron Ares.
I hope for your sake you also do not have to see that movie.
I think I've pulled a little trick.
What's the trick you pulled?
I said it was so long, and it wouldn't make sense if he hadn't seen the other ones. So we should go see Good Boy instead.
That's really smart.
He said, "Okay, hold on, I'll think about it."
No, that's the one about the boy locked up in the basement.
Yeah, people are mixing that up, right?
Yeah.
People are thinking the good boy in the basement is the good boy that's the dog that can smell spirits or something.
Yeah.
I hope the dog kills somebody. All right, great episode.